Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk to you guys about limited banner matrices and give you a perspective on them coming from a whale. Every time I see a limited banner character discussed on YouTube or Reddit, there's always people asking about whether or not they should pull for the matrices. It's usually people who are trying to decide whether it's worth it to get matrices instead of stars on a weapon, or if they're thinking about just saving their resources for another banner. And the simple answer is you're never gonna want to get the matrices unless you're a massive whale. And for those of you who haven't looked into it much, most of the matrix, the limited matrix sets, even in CN, are similar. They'll usually have some quirk that makes the limited weapon better, with limited or no use if you use it on other weapons. This is important because this is a game where you're expected to build more than one weapon combo. For example, I'll pull up the Frigg set here. This four piece right here only applies if you're using Frigg's weapon. So you can't just swap the four piece set onto another character, a weapon, I mean. Um, you could get some use out of the two piece set, but then again, it's limited to only Frost teams. The Nemesis Matrices set is right here, and this two piece is useless unless you're on a Volt team with heals, and the four piece is just useless to any other character besides Nemesis. Now, if you had invested in a standard banner matrix set like Kings, then you could just swap that to any Shatter character, and most of your teams are going to have a Shatter character on them, so that's a better use of your resources. If you're not convinced at this point, I'll go over some examples. For the examples I'll give, I'm assuming that 120 pulls are equivalent to 2.5 SSR weapons because that many pulls guarantees one SSR weapon at 80, and you could buy a second one at 120 with the flame gold, and you would be halfway to pity for your next SSR. Anyways, a two-piece matrix set on average is going to cost you the same as getting an SSR weapon, which honestly doesn't sound that bad, right? Uh, Even a free-to-play or a low spender could save up that much without too much difficulty. But that's not the full story. You might not get a usable two-piece set, even if you get two pieces of it. Since each matrix has a category, which I'll pull up here. All right, here we go. Each matrix has a category, so either mind, memory, belief, or emotion. And when you're pulling for these limited sets, you're hoping that you don't get a duplicate, and you're also hoping that you get the categories that mesh with whatever other two-piece set you plan on using. So if I was trying to draw or pull for Frigg and I wanted a two-piece set and I had a Huma set on emotion and belief, I would need my Frigg ones to be mind and memory, or they're useless to me because I just can't fit them in with the investments I've already made. And that might not sound like such a big deal for brand new players, but down the road you're going to be very limited by this mechanic. So to guarantee that you get a usable two-piece set, you would have to use the same number of pulls as it would take to get 3 SSR weapons, with one of those being a guaranteed dupe of the limited weapon. So really, if you're thinking about whether to go for a two-piece matrices set or not, you should be asking yourself, do I really want this two-piece set, or do I want 3 SSR weapons? And I think 99% of the player base would be better off with 3 SSR weapons, even if only one of them is a good dupe. Alright, so you're maybe you're thinking that you'll just go for the 4-piece set so you don't have to deal with working around other sets. Um, at the average price of 3 SSR weapons and some luck, you could have a 4-piece set. And if you're very unlucky, the price can go up to 6 SSR weapons, with 2 of those being guaranteed dupes of the banner weapon. And I think at this point it's obvious that if you're trying to decide between getting more weapon dupes or getting the limited matrix set, you should just get the weapon dupes. Anyone going this far really should already have the stars capped out on the weapon, or they're probably not being efficient with their resources. But okay, let's say you're a whale and you pulled for 2 or 4 piece matrix sets. You're done, right? Well, not really, because now is when you'll realize that you actually need to star those sets for any of this to be worth it. In most cases I've seen, even in the CN version, a 0-star limited matrix set is going to be comparable, if not suboptimal, compared to a standard banner set that has stars on them. As you play the game, you're going to naturally get stars on the standard banners matrices. And if you're spending pulls on the limited matrix sets, you're just going to get more stars on your standard banner matrix sets as well. So what I'm trying to get at is you could be going for stars on um, a 4-piece frig set, and along the way you could end up with a standard banner set, which is even better than what you end up with frig set. Uh, it's just a waste of money in my opinion. And let's say I haven't convinced you and you say to hell with it. You want to get a maxed out 4-piece matrix set with 3 stars because you want the best frig possible. That would cost an average of 12 SSR weapons worth of pulls, or up to 26 if your luck is complete garbage. 26, Jesus. Anyways, as a whale, I think the price isn't actually that bad if the limited matrix sets could easily be used on a wide variety of other weapons. That's just not the case though. Most every limited set I looked at was just too narrow in scope for me to consider getting, and I can't really recommend anyone spend their pulls on them. This is actually good because it means that the devs can milk the whales who are tempted by a tiny advantage, and the rest of the player base can just get by fine by collecting SSR sets from stuff like world bosses and joint operations. The only one that I got was the 2-piece set for Frigg, just because I'm going to be investing heavily into an ice team and I'm already committed to the whale life. But like the Nemesis one wasn't really for me, and I honestly don't think I'll get another set, except for maybe Saki when she comes out, if it ends up being good. Alright, that's all I had for today. Later.